Hi, my name is Nicole Evans. I am part owner of Daryon Hotels International and the president of Community Hotels. Today I'm going to be speaking briefly on the benefits of public relations and your business. Before we dive in too deep, there are 7 different types of public relations. We're not going to go in depth with all 7 types. We're only going to be focused on one, but I still think it's important to touch base on those other 7 different types of public relations. So to start off, we have media relations, we have investor relations, government relations, community relations, internal communication, customer relations, and marketing communications. The one that we're going to stay focused on today is going to be community relations. Before I go further, it is important to understand that with this type of PR, it's a little bit different. We want to make sure that our hearts and our minds are in the right place before jumping into community relations. The benefits that your company is going to see from getting involved in this type of PR, it should be an afterthought completely. There's a quote by Winston Churchill that our company loves, and we always go back and we reference it, especially when talking about this topic. And the quote goes, "We make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give." In May of 2013, there was a research study done by Cone Communications and Echo Research, and what they found is that 82% of customers care about corporate responsibility, or CRP. That means that you could potentially lose your customers to your competitor if they are involved in this type of community relations in some way, shape, or form. So that's how important this type of PR is. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about where to start. Before I do so, I do have some logos, and these are charities and organizations that Daryon Hotels International and Community Hotels is working with actively. We've worked with, and this is just actively in the Lehigh Valley, but we have worked with other charities or organizations, but I wanted to put these up here for you so you could get an idea. Maybe one of these will be one that you will want to partner with, but just to list them, we have the Allentown Rescue Mission, we have the Muscular Dystrophy Association, you have the Habitat for Humanity, you have Kids Peace, American Red Cross, Lily's Hope, Bethany Church, the Emmaus Lions Club, Meals on Wheels, the Lehigh Valley Children's Hospital. That's just to name a few. So where to start? You need to build a relationship with a charity or organization or in the community. So whether that be with one of the charities that I just listed or another one, it's really important that you have a mutually beneficial relationship. And what that means is that both of you are benefiting off of this in one way or another. So a great example of this and how Community Hotels has done this is with the Habitat for Humanity of the Lehigh Valley with their Restore program. So you may or you may not know, but hotels every 5 years have to undergo some sort of renovation or remodeling. And with that renovation and remodeling comes a lot of excess materials, a lot of unused building materials, furniture, things of that nature. And what happens is that the hotels typically will rent a storage unit to put on the back of their property where all of these materials will just kind of get thrown. And then eventually they have to pay somebody, labor, to come and dispose of these items and break them down. So I thought there had to be a better way. So we partnered with the Habitat. We made a website for the Habitat on communityhotels.com, and it was an area where hotels in the Lehigh Valley could go and post items that they have in these storage units, and that goes directly to the Habitat, and the Habitat contacts the hotel directly, and they will come actually for free and pick up these materials from the hotel and give the hotel a tax write-off. So not only is the Habitat benefiting by being able to fill their warehouses and have materials to build these homes in the Lehigh Valley for individuals that so desperately need it, but the hotel benefits as well, because in the end it's saving them money, it's cost effective, and they're giving back to their community. So that's one example. So try and find a charity or organization that's in your community that you could do that with, that benefits, that you have that mutually beneficial relationship with. The second thing that you want to do is you want to make sure that you involve your employees. A lot of people forget about this. Employees care about what their company is doing for the community. It gives them that sense of pride when they know that their company is out there actively giving back. It will build their morale, and they'll want to come into work every day to work for a company that's doing such great things. The last thing that you want to make sure that you do is you want to inform your customers. So like we just talked about, 82% of customers care about corporate responsibility. So you want to make sure that when you're doing these things and partnered with these charities and organizations, that your customers know that you're doing that. So make sure that you're posting it on your social media, make sure you're putting it on your email tagline, put it on your business cards, put it in your lobby if you have one, but make sure you're getting it out there for your potential customers and your current customers. There are so many ways to get involved, and a lot of them are not costly whatsoever. The first way that I always tell people to get involved businesses is to volunteer. Volunteer your time as a whole, as a company. Make sure you have that physical presence out there within the community. You could do that in multiple ways. You could go and you could help build houses. You could go and you could donate your time at a soup kitchen. You could go and volunteer your time at a school or at your local church. But there are so many different ways that you could do that. Make sure your company gets out there and has that physical presence. The next way is to donate. So there are multiple ways that you could donate. The first way that you could donate is you could collect donations. For example, if you have a point of sale system, if you're having customers check out with you, you could ask for a donation at that point. We did do a big push for the Lehigh Valley Children's Hospital in our hotels, and what we did is when guests were checking in or checking out, we were asking if they wanted to round up to the nearest dollar or if they wanted to donate another amount to the Lehigh Valley Children's Hospital. So that's one way, and that's really easy and just takes a little bit of training on whoever the person is that would be collecting those donations at the point of sale. The next way is you could donate space, like this boardroom that I'm standing in right now, or the conference space or the meeting room that you guys were all in for the Lehigh Valley Networking event. Donate that space, because a lot of these charities and organizations, they don't have that type of space. And they really need it for certain types of events, and it doesn't really cost you as a business owner anything. A great example of this again would be a year ago, the American Red Cross wanted to thank all of their volunteers involved in the Disaster Institute, and they did a little surprise for them, and we donated space, and it was really heartwarming to see, and it was gratifying, and it was absolutely great. And like I said, it didn't cost anything to be able to do that for that charity. The next thing that you could do is you could donate silent auction items or raffle items. So charities and organizations, they have events all the time. There are so many events going on at any given time, and there are so many opportunities to be able to just put a basket together, put a voucher in there, put whatever it is that you're selling, and then people are going to be bidding on those things or buying tickets for those things, and you're bringing that customer base to you and potential clients that you might not have had before, and you're benefiting the charity or organization because they're getting all of that money and that bidding. So that's really great, super easy, very cost effective. The last way, and this is my favorite way to donate, is to be a drop-off location for some sort of a drive. So what a drop-off location is you basically, you'll just have a box there with whatever logo it is on the charity and whatever they're collecting, and you could do a clothing drive, a supply drive, a food drive, it doesn't matter, whatever you want to do. But what it does is when you tell people in the community, hey, or when that charity says this place is a drop-off location for canned goods, or this place is a drop-off location for jackets and winter coats, or whatever it is that push is, you're bringing customers who might not have ever stepped foot in your business, ever. You're bringing them into your business to do good for the community, and then you have that potential to be able to capture that business, to capture that person in the community that might not have stepped foot in your doors before, but they're stepping foot in your doors because they want to go ahead and donate to that charity or organization. So that's my favorite way, and it's the easiest way. And if you're informing your customers, you'll have all of that information in your lobby like we discussed before. The next thing that you could do is you could sponsor an event. So I talked before about how there are a gazillion events happening in the Lehigh Valley all the time. But there are some major events and minor events that are happening. There's some major galas that you could be sponsors to. There's also, if you just wanted to kind of get your feet wet, there's some golf outings, there's polar plunges, things of that nature that will start to get your name out there. And once you start seeing the benefits of that, then you could start being a sponsor to a larger gala and have a larger corporate partnership. So that's another great way to get involved. There are a couple of things that happen when you get involved, and this is kind of lengthy, but the first thing that happens when you get involved is you gain credibility. So your company's public recognition will improve positively simply because people like and feel comfortable working with businesses that do more than just business, and they pay attention to people and their community. The second thing is that you'll gain a positive image. So you enhance your positive image when you're active in the community, not just for yourself, but for your business and for anyone that is involved. Next is your engagement. So your engagement within the community is going to improve. So employees and consumers will become much more engaged in your company and product, whatever it is that you're selling or anything. And lastly is your reach. So your customer base will grow far more than you could imagine for one simple reason, and that is because people will remember you. They're going to remember the company that went the extra mile for a charity or organization. They're going to remember that person that was there to help a hand, to give that helping hand that was involved within the community. There's an old saying, and I actually have this on my front door, and that's not a lie. I do have it on my front door to remind myself every day before I walk out. And it is, people may not remember exactly what you did, but they will always remember how you made them feel. So the feeling that you're giving people, that's the most important thing, and that's how they're going to remember your company. They're going to associate whatever you did and how they made you feel with that product. So in closing, it's always important, the rewarding part of community relations is not the inherited business improvement. As human beings, we feel good about ourselves when we do good for others. So just keep that in mind, have fun with it, and that's all I have. Get out there and do some community relations and some good PR. Thank you.